and they turn around, how can they work for the government and then turn around and work for you on the same case? So this is where the crutch comes in. If this is a fact which Mr. Dorsey said should be looked into and investigated and a thorough audit done, and he said, well, the papers that he wrote, and you look the wording up in the dictionary, and he accused them of false dealings and such. It's kind of a terrible thing, and yet the government will not do nothing. And we looked at this just a little bit further, and we wondered why the government didn't do something about it. Well, the money that's raised by the WCB has huge investments to the government. They loan this money to the government for a return, instead of helping injured workers, and they've got a real commercial enterprise set up that's actually, it's wrong. It's fraudulent, and that's the wording in the Dorsey report. The fraudulent part of it all is that you go to Halifax and the legal community seems to have total control. What they do is fine. We even looked at it a little bit further. Well, how would the politicians or the MLA deal with something like this when they had their meetings sitting in the house in Halifax? Well, we found that the bureaucrats who was hired by the government, one way or another, they knew people coming in on the government are briefed by these people, the bureaucrats. The same things carry on as they always have, and there's no change. They seem to have more to say about how things should go than MLAs that we elect. So they have lawyers, and they had a legal from the Dalhousie University, and he was one of the key figures behind setting up the rules and regulations. And he makes these policies and these ideas, and he presents them to government. Well, they think that this man, because he's illegal, and he might even been a teacher in college in the legal department, a professor of some sort perhaps, and they feel he knows more about the law, the ins and outs, than what they do. So they pass these laws. And it got to the point right now where, and I've talked to several legals, and I've talked to a retired justice, and he told me that I had stuff here that's got to be dealt with. The government can't allow this to continue. And yet, even after the Dorsey report, and that's a serious charges that he suggested were going on, he also stated that no business could operate the way they're operating. He said if you started a business up like that now, you couldn't do it. So why not get the change needed that injured workers would get what they should have? Nobody goes out just to get injured, and there are some questions in some cases, but overall, that part of responsibility that's given to the WCB is greater than the need of injured workers. And they can take money from employers. I've been an employer for years, and I paid my dues to the WCB only to find out that the most of the money is sent to investments or sent to the lawyers, directly to the lawyers instead of to the injured workers.